What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is Bard, the Odyssey of the Irish by Morgan Llywelyn. As the title says, this historical fantasy novel depicts the migration of Galatians to Ireland led by Amergin the Bard, who's also one of the sons of Mill. This novel's loosely based on the Book of Invasions, which is seen in multiple medieval scripts. It's also the second book in the Celtic World book series, but you don't have to read them in any order. I think the publisher just decided to create this series a little bit after all of these books came out and they were standalone, so for some reason or another, I'm just guessing, they decided to put all of Morgan Llewellyn's Celtic books that are standalones in a series. But don't be confused, you don't have to read them in any sort of order, unless you want to. Now, I found this book on my grandmother's bookshelf when I was a teenager, and I devoured it in a couple of days. And this is the original copy that I found. It's very old, it has no cover, I don't know where the cover is, and it's kind of falling apart. But this is the copy that I read as a teenager. It's held on strong for, well, 15 years for me knowing about it, but it's definitely older than 15 years. Let's go like 20, 25 perhaps. It's holding up just like the Irish. I'm going to say that right now. But I will put up a updated book cover in that little space right there just so you know what the cover looks like as of now. But it has gone through many different covers over the years. I gave this book 5 perfect stars for many reasons, but before going into them, I want to give a brief overview of the original text and then a brief rundown of the story itself. So the early Irish manuscript, the Book of Invasions, is a collection of poems and prose narratives in the Irish language. The Irish title is very hard to pronounce, but translated to English, it's the Book of Invasions. And it intended to be the official history, quote unquote, of the founding of Ireland through the eyes of Irish Catholic monks, who at the time were really into holding down the fort of literacy and writing down all the things during the Dark Ages. So there's a religious bias to this story, and it's not historically accurate. And also, it was most likely changed from the original story that was oral, but we have no idea because the Irish Catholic monks put in their bias, and so you have to read the Book of Invasions through that lens. There are probably some historical accuracy points in the Book of Invasions, but like I said, we just can't tell. For that reason, we can't call this a historical document about the origins of the Irish as we know it today. But this text is still highly regarded. I've read it before and I liked it, and so did Morgan Llywelyn, because she wrote her own version of this tale. Her version of the migration came to be is way more interesting to me because it doesn't have the Christian lens, and she tries to do her absolute best to make it as historical as possible. The blurb on Goodreads and Amazon kind of sucks, which is a shame. They just used the tagline, and I quote, "The sweeping historical tale of the coming of the Irish to Ireland and the men and women who made the Emerald Isle their own." I don't think that's enough, but this is an older book, and sometimes it's in print, other times it's not, so the publisher have brushed this book to the side, which is a shame. And here we are to shine a light on this forgotten novel. In the 4th century BCE, a group of Gauls living in the northwest of Iberia, which is known as Spain now, are having trouble surviving, but a group of Phoenician traders arrive at their town where they talk about an island not too far away. Imogen, a well-known bard of the tribe, he has many brothers and he is the son of Mill. He is the main character of this novel. These brothers often fight amongst themselves, and pick fights with basically everyone, including the new traders in town. The bard saves a particular trader, and he is rewarded for his bravery with a servant named Sakar. Sakar awes Amergin with tales of an island not too far away that is full of riches but is extremely hard to get to. After much discussion, a group is chosen, led by the Sons of Mill, to settle this land. I don't want to spoil the story too much, but there are fae involved, and I love to see it. Morgan is an amazing storyteller, and her prose is absolutely stunning. It pulls you into the story from the first page, and the hold she has on you doesn't let go until the book ends. Her descriptions of the lands and of people are beautiful, and I can easily picture the scenes in my head as I read her words. Morgan's eloquence and passion for Ireland shines through, and I love that. You can absolutely tell when a writer loves what they're doing. Some people have said the book is a bit slow, but this story spans over many, many years. And there are just some stories that are not fast-paced and need to take time to set up for the story to make sense, especially historical fiction books and historical fantasy books. I think that's fairly common for anything historical. And frankly, because, like I said, you need to set everything up properly. You can make things fast, but do you need to? In a lot of cases with historical fiction and historical fantasy, though the person is interested in that history, that doesn't mean that they know everything about it. A lot of the time, the reader is interested and they want to learn more, but in a fictional way. So I completely understand that the pace can be seen as slow in the beginning, but I think it's perfect for the immersion of being in the 4th century BCE as a Gaul in the eyes of this very well-known bard, feeling that desperation of, we are surviving and our people are hungry, and what can we do? Oh, we're so desperate that there's another island over there and we might have to go there to survive. I'm not a huge fan of Amergin the bard, but he's very interesting. I do not need to relate to a character to like the story. I either need to relate to the character, find them fascinating, or both, but I can't get into a book if they're not interesting and I don't relate to them. Yes, he's a bit annoying and angsty at times, but then again, he's a bard. And he also really cares about his family and his people. He's an interesting case study of a character. If you were to hypothetically pick him out of the book and then place him into the real world, he would be a well fleshed out character. Would you find him annoying and maybe you wouldn't want to be his friend? Sure, but that's life, right? And I think that's very fascinating and a great testament to Morgan's writing. So of course I recommend Bard by Morgan Llywelyn. There might be times where you would be unable to find the print version. There is an audiobook and an ebook, which I find interesting. I don't know why there's problems with the print book, but there are other options other than a physical copy. And you might have to get, if you just read physical copies, a used copy, but I think no matter what, you should give this book a try. Thank you so much for watching my book review on Bard, the Odyssey of the Irish by Morgan Llywelyn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!